Hey, Carl, how are you doing?
Well, I'm good because we're about to win this war against the DOD. And I say war because they've been doing that. Look, they did this to me when I wrote my first book on active duty. They did it to Eddie Gallagher. They've done it to countless other people who didn't have the means to fight it. And now, if you're on if the DOD is watching this right now, I want them to know we got $2 million in our legal coffers, and we're going to exhaust every dime of it to make sure that this guy has justice. Now, you've been fighting this from the congressional side. Talk to us about that fight.
Yes, it's kind of interesting because it's all tied together. We had a hearing on the Armed Services Committee where we had General Milley and Secretary Austin and the CENTCOM. And I asked them a simple question. Can you guarantee the American people that we lost Boston? We actually didn't lose it. We gave it away.
Right.
Those 5,000 scumbag, bad guy prisoners that we had there, none of them were responsible for the Abbey Gate murder of 13 American service members. And they could not do that because there's been reports that some of those 5,000 were directly related to murdering our troops. And that's all Lieutenant Colonel Schuller was questioning. So we wrote a letter, our office wrote a letter to his commanding officer, the Brigadier General, and simply asked for his immediate release because like you said, he's not a flight risk. He's not going to engage in serious criminal misconduct, which is what the statute says. So why is he in prison? This is a chilling effect to tell the other 1.4 million active duty troops that you better stay in line.
Yeah. Well, let me give a message to the other 1.4 million troops. Do the right thing at all costs. And Pipe Hitters Foundation and people like yourself, Congressman, we will come to your defense and we will fight this war against the military that we serve so honorably in, because I'm so sick and tired of them using this rank as political talking points to ramrod an agenda, nationally and globally. We need good men and women. And Stu Scheller, maybe he made some legal miscalculations in how he did this with his uniform on, but the bottom line is all he wanted to do was make sure that people who got Americans killed were held accountable so it didn't happen again. Why is that so controversial?
No, that's completely lawful. I mean, this regime, as I call the Biden administration, is completely inconsistent and hypocritical. I went and visited the Donna holding facility on the border where the COVID protocol said 250 people can be held. That's it. They had 5,700. So they didn't care about their own COVID protocols, but they're using it now to have the colonel in confinement, in solitary confinement for 14 days.
Yeah.
They're weaponizing COVID-19 protocol. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I want to talk to you a little bit about COVID-19 here because we have this issue on the border. Unless you live under a rock, everybody's heard about what's going on now. We have, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands predicted to be coming in illegally across the border, doubling, tripling, and even quadrupling the numbers that we've seen in prior years and prior administrations. And none of them are tested for COVID. Well, maybe one or two are. None of them are vaccinated, yet I'm in New York City, and I can't go get a cheeseburger if I don't have a vaccine card. So, I mean, is it just pure politics? I mean, are they even doing science and stuff?
No, what's science? I mean, it's hypocritical and inconsistent to say that nobody in Canada, Europe, Asia, anywhere in the world, with money in their pocket, vaccinated, and testing negative upon arrival in the United States, they're not allowed to come here. God forbid it would help because the socialists, communists, Marxists think that goods and services fall from the sky, and yet they'll allow 1.5 million people from countries that don't have any vaccination rates to speak of come into the country, and we'll pay for it. And we're already a debtor nation. It is utter madness.
Yeah, it really is. Now, Jen Psaki got into an argument with a New York Times reporter about this border stuff, and basically they said, like, hey, Biden's carrying over some of the same policies that Trump had, some of the things that on the campaign trail said, oh, I'll never do this. They're not called tent cities anymore. They're called soft-sided structures, but they're still tents. You have tens of thousands of people pouring over, the Remain in Mexico policy, going back against Cuba, and the reporter, failing New York Times, called him out, which is rare, but they said, hey, what's up with this? And she could not give them an answer.
Mm-hmm. Well, they used to call them cages. Now they're holding facilities.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely horrific what we saw on the border. But the thing is, when you open the border up and you let people stay, you're going to get more of it. When you incentivize bad behavior, you're going to get more of it. And that's exactly what the Biden regime is doing.
So, Congressman, I got to take a walk down memory lane. You played for Notre Dame. There's a big, you won a national championship in 1988, and there's a big game against Cincinnati today. You want to weigh in on that?
There is. Yeah, the Irish by 11.
Irish by 11. All right,
make it a ball. Carl Higbie Show for America.
Yeah. All right, Irish by 11. He says, Pat Fallon, Congressman, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it, sir.
Thanks, Carl. God bless.